What's up, Cougar fans? Welcome to another edition of CUC Coach's Weekly Softball. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Well, it was a busy week for your team. You guys played 6 games, walked away 3-3, so a pretty solid week for your team. How are you feeling overall?
Tired. I don't think I'm the only one. I think our players are that way too, but this is the time of the season when it's going to be that way. But when you play, 3 games in a day that you didn't anticipate, or almost 4 games in a day you didn't anticipate, so it was a really great doubleheader win victory for us as a group yesterday. So.
And let's head right to that day on Saturday against Marion. 14 innings in the first game and 11 in the second game, so 25 innings on the day. Like you said, that's more than just 2 games. Mm-hmm. What is the approach there when you kind of get to the 7th, the 8th, the 9th inning and realize, like, hey, we're here for the long stretch?
I'm not really sure you have an approach. I think you're just kind of sticking with the game plan that you had originally. And as the game keeps going, that game plan maybe changes a little bit, but not much. I think we did a really good job of utilizing the pitchers that we had. I think we did the same thing in the second game, and I thought you saw our pitchers kind of take steps forward, regardless of what the outcome was. Ashley Schroll and Megan Boska both threw very well the first game, and Emma Borelli came in and shut that game down for us after we were able to score, and she had 2 great innings at the end. And then the second game, we had Eden that started the game, and Callie came in, and she did a great job. Like, she did what we asked her to do. Sometimes, once again, the defense is still figuring out how to play again behind everybody. Emma came back in, and, we were able to kind of do what we needed to do. And I know Marion got that one 2-1, but we were down. 7th inning comes up, we scored again, and that it's kind of nice to see that, like, we're not giving up. And I think that that's the competitive nature of what we want our kids to get. So playing games like that, you get tired, but they didn't die. Like, their energy didn't let up. They were in the game the entire way, and they were fun games. Marion's a very good team, and, we had some breaks our way. They had some breaks their way. Defensively, they made phenomenal plays, and so did we. So, we just got better. I think Bella started that game. She set the tone in the first inning, and I think from that on, defensively, we're pretty rock on with that, so.
And I'll talk about a couple of players specifically in that doubleheader. And one was Bella Archuleta, like you mentioned. She had a season high with 5 assists on Saturday. And then Jessica Gang had a season high, career high, 5 hits in that first game. And as far as we know, Becky Peroni, in recent history for your squad, is the only Cougar with 5 hits. So just good performances, both season highs for both of those players in that day.
Well, Arissa Santos had 5 in that game too. We had 15 hits, and the 2 of them, and Jess probably would have been 6 for 6 if I hadn't have had her sacrifice bunt, So, but she did her job. That's what, being a good teammate is, and understanding the game. So, like I said, Bella started that. We made a play, they've got speed. We made the play right off the bat, and that set the tone. Swing-wise, Jess was able to make, good contact the very first at bat, the very first inning. And she had good timing, good rhythm, everything was there. Arissa was a quiet 5 for me, 5 for 6. It was very, very quiet. I didn't realize that, until I saw the box scores. But then we had the hits that came through, we had, Emily Garcia starting us off again. She's just done a great job in the leadoff spot as a freshman. Melissa Hadzik did a great job with that, and I know I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but I'm not going to try and pronounce it correct because this is how I've been pronouncing it for the last 3 years. And it was nice. We had people move players, move runners, and when we weren't able to score defensively, we just made some great plays. We really did. So.
Let's move to Sunday, doubleheader against Alverno, and you walked away with 2 victories in that day, 14-1 and then 7-4. And let's talk about your pitching staff, because you went without Ashley Schroll on Sunday. So what does that say about your staff to be able to navigate and get 2 victories without Schroll?
Well, I think it started in Aurora, and I know we lost 2 games to Aurora, but we really, that second game was not indicative of what their approach was. I think they started to learn a little bit on that day. That's the entire staff. It's not just Ash. It's the entire staff. And then you saw that come to fruition on Saturday, and that just kept building. And when they were able to get out of innings and they had defense behind them, and then we had some hitting that happened, that it was the hitting for both teams that wasn't timely. We had balls in play, we just didn't get the timely hit. So on Sunday we had the timely hit, and Alverno's a much improved team, and you can never, they took a game from Aurora last week as well, so no team in our conference is someone that you can look past ever. And so, I thought our kids came out with, after being tired and being at the field for, on the bus, we were gone for 14 hours on Saturday. all teams go through it. You just kind of deal with it, but then you're turning around and getting back on the bus and doing it again. And I thought they came out with good energy. I think they were tired, but they pushed through it. We were able to jump on them quickly in the first inning, which I think was where we had some timely hits that came in. We found the holes a little bit more on Saturday or on Sunday. And that equated back into the next game, and we went up 1-0. They came back 3-1, and our kids are used to kind of coming back. They don't give up, and then we end up winning that game 7-4. So I think our pitchers did a really good job learning, and that started in the Aurora games, and then it built up with the Marion series, and then it kind of came a little bit to fruition on Sunday. We're not done yet, though, so they're going to keep learning and keep getting better.
And one last player before we move on from the weekend, Haley Goldsby in the Alverno doubleheader. It was a season high for in hits, RBIs, and runs scored. So productive day from her. At the plate.
Yeah, she was actually spot on Saturday. Like, she hit the ball hard to people on Saturday, so she was able to find the holes on Sunday, and that's what softball and baseball are. Like, there's a day where you're going to hit the ball right to somebody, and then there's a day where it's going to find the hole, and that's just the way the game is. It's an unforgiving game. That's why you have to really be focused and not let it get to you. And I think she was able to take Saturday and move into Sunday, and we needed that. It's nice to see other people step up and kind of take advantage of that. So Haley did a great job with that.
You've got several more opportunities this week. You're going to play non-conference against Lake Forest, and then you've got Lakeland and Benedictine in this weekend. And Lakeland's going to be your senior day. So what can you say about this group of seniors that have led you the last few years in this season as well?
I think the maturity level, just being able to watch, it's the nice part about being able to coach is you get to see someone come in that's a 17-year-old kid, and then when they leave here, they're 21, 22, sometimes 23, a little closer to that 25 mark. But you get to see them grow, from freshman year to sophomore year, from sophomore year to junior year. And I think this group, which is Alyssa and Gina and Bella and Nikita, I just think that they've done a really great job of understanding what our philosophy is, buying into it, and never giving up on it. And I think that they've seen that, we had a little bit of a rough stretch, and now we're kind of moving past that, and that's really the work that they're putting in with our young kids and being present and just talking with them. And we had a fun practice last Thursday, and it was led by the seniors. Bella, Alyssa, and Gina were all pretty competitive on that day, and Bella won, so Bella's team won on that day. So Dunkin' Donuts for that group. Nice. But you could see that. And I think that them being able to have fun and enjoy that kind of moved into the weekend. And I think their leadership has been pretty good.
Well, we look forward to this week. Hopefully your team can snag a few more wins to inch closer to a postseason berth. Congratulations on a successful past week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For more information on CUC softball, head to cucougars.com. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot, Troy.
Making the announcement was the right thing to do, but you could have just asked for the name. But I gotta go get their lineup. I'll be right back.
We have it! We have it!
Shit.
We have it! That process in my head really late.
You already have their lineup?
Yeah, he came up and brought it.
Cool. Well, thanks for catching me.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm glad you caught me.
I was looking at it and then registered in my head. Can you spell number 5, please?
Number-5.
Whoa. Can I steal a lineup?
The last name? P-E-L-L. E-T-T.
No.
I-E-R-E.
Just whichever lineup you're not using.
Welcome back to game number 2 on the Cougar Sports Network. Troy Prattley on the call here on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago in River Forest. It was the Foresters victorious in game number 1. So let's check out our action for game number 2. For the Cougars in this game, it's going to be Arissa Santos leading off. Batting second.
Kyle mismatch. Oh, I didn't say it, damn it.
He did for you.
Well, excuse me, we'll get to the lineups in just a second, but before we do that, it's Maya Mismash here to the plate for the Foresters. Ashley Schroll in the circle for the Cougars. And Schroll is the ace for Concordia. As Mismash is going to bunt, it's going to be under the glove. Under the glove of McKyler Morris there. And Mismash will reach first base for Schroll. She's got a 3.09 ERA, 1 win, 6 losses. She's pitched 54.1, so 54 and a third inning so far, giving up 61 hits, 37 runs, 24 of which were earned, 11 base on balls, and 25 strikeouts. The opposing batting average is 280 against Schroll when she's in the circle. So batting now is Cadence Dempsey, and Dempsey's going to fly that one to right field towards the foul line, and it's going to be Goldsby.
Up to bat number 15, Brooke Swicky.
So Goldsby secures out number 1. Mismash will stay at first. Here's Brooke Swicky. Swicky will swing through pitch number 1. So I'll get you the rest of the Forester lineup here. It's Brooke Swicky hitting third, Kyla Chevalier in the 4-hole, Emmy Nean hitting 5th. As Mismash is going to steal. Oh, but the ball pops out of Santos' glove. She probably would have been out. But rather safe now because the tag cannot be applied. Batting 6th for the Foresters is going to be Cheyenne Pelletieri. Batting 7th is Macy Lake. Batting 8th, Paige Ratliff. Batting 9th is Leah Taglia, excuse me. And pitching today in the second game is going to be Hannah Smith. Is that our lineup?
Yeah.
We've got.
Yeah, it's not pushing right.
Okay, because ours says Barbosa's hitting second, playing second. That pitch is going to be out of play just over the first base dugout here, so 3 balls and a strike now. For the Cougars, the lineup will be Arissa Santos leading off, Emily Garcia hitting second as Garcia's into field. That one is for out number 2. Jess Gang will bump down a spot. She hit second in the first game. She'll hit third in this game. The DP will be Bella Archuleta, who played third base in the first game. Playing third base for the Cougars in the second game is going to be Kyler Morris, and she's going to hit 5th. Megan Boska is going to hit 6th, and she's playing first base. Gina Westfall is going to hit 7th. She's in left field. Olivia Stroker batting 8th in center field, and Haley Goldsby batting 9th in right field. And Ashley Schroll is in the circle with 2 outs here in the top half of the first inning. So 1 ball, no strikes. That one's fouled straight back towards us here. So 1 ball And 1 strike now. And this is Kyla Chevalier, who had a home run, 2-run shot to open up the scoring in the 4th inning of the first game of the doubleheader, in which the Foresters went on to win that 7-0. Chevalier ended up with 4 RBIs in that first game. That was her 8th home run of the year. She leads Lake Forest in that category. In fact, in most categories, as she also leads them in batting average, now close to 500 after that first game. She's got 7 doubles and 7 home runs, 30 RBIs, 58 total bases. All of those lead this Foresters team. She's also been hit by 2 pitches, which also leads with Cadence Dempsey. The pitch is called a ball. Umpire will say no swing. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now is the count on Kyla Chevalier. Miss Mash is standing at second. She's got 3 stolen bases this afternoon. Garcia's going to head to her right to field it. Throw on to Busco, who's called safe, and then Miss Mash is going to score. And Busco was turning to look at the umpire for the call, and Miss Mash heads up, just never stopped running and went on to score. So an unconventional infield single and RBI for Chevalier, her 5th RBI of the day. And it appeared to be a good call. It did look like Chevalier beat that out, as she'll now steal. She'll be safe, as once again the throw's a little bit up line towards second, and Santos is unable to apply the tag. So the Foresters are now 4 for 4 on stolen bases this afternoon. Miss Mash has 3, and that was Chevalier's first. So now there's a 1-1 count on Emmy Nean, and Nean had a good day, or a good first game rather. She found herself on base 3 times, courtesy of 2 bunt singles and a walk. As she hits that one softly towards Garcia, who will flip it to Busca, whose foot is on the bag for out number 3. But the Foresters strike first, this time in the top half of the first inning. It was 1 run on 2 hits. They strand 1. We'll be right back for the bottom half of the first inning on the Cougar Sports Network. Alrighty, so the bottom half of the first inning, it'll be Hannah Smith in the circle for the Foresters. 6.45 ERA. She's 2-4 so far this year. 33 2/3 inning pitch as Santos lines that one on the hop to shortstop, where it's fielded by Macy Lake, who fires to first for the first out of the afternoon for the Cougars in game number 2. Continuing with Hannah Smith statistics, so 33 and 2/3 innings, 34 hits, 39 runs, 31 of which were earned, 37 base on balls with only 13 strikeouts. So pretty big discrepancy there, as Garcia is going to lift that one softly out behind first base, and it's Taglia with the running catch there. So it's a much different defensive lineup here for the Foresters. They go Swicky, Mismash, and Neon in the outfield left to right. Dempsey, Lake, Taglia, and Pelletieri in the infield left to right. It's Smith in the circle, Ratliff behind the plate. As that pitch is a ball, so 2 balls, no strikes. So 2-0 is the count on Jess Gang as she watches that one for a strike. That one is bounced high but foul. So 2-2 now is the count on Gang. And the Cougars were shut out in the first game of the doubleheader. Looking to change that as Gang lines that one into right field. It's going to be stopped in right field, but Gang will be out at second. A great throw out there from Emmy Neon. So Gang will be credited with a single. But she'll be thrown out at second base. So Cougars record a hit. No runs. It's 1-0 Foresters after 1 here on the Cougar Sports Network.
We love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletics communication department, hit the like and thank button.
This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible for some great Cougar softball moments. Thank you and enjoy the game.
Up to bat, number 5, Cheyenne Pelletieri.
Leading off for the Foresters, number 5, Cheyenne Pelletieri. And Pelletieri is playing first base here in game 2 for the Foresters, as she will lead off in the 6th hole for the the top half of the first inning against Ashley Schroll. So 1 ball and 1 strike. That one's inside for a strike. So now Schroll will go to work up 1-2 in the count on Pelletieri. Yeah, she follows that one back. And Pelletieri hitting .324 on the year so far. This is her 35th at-bat. She's got 11 hits. She has tracked 16 total bases. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now is the count. And from Schroll, it'll be outside. So Pelletieri works the count to full now. And the wind's still blowing pretty strong from right to left, a little bit towards home plate here as well. We saw 1 ball leave the park in the first game, but just a lot of pop flies as that one is drilled out towards right field. But it'll be Goldsby at the warning track. But a good connection there from Pelletieri. But at the end of the day, it's just a long out. Number 1 here in the top half of the second. And that'll bring up Macy Lake. And Lake batting .316. She's got 19 at-bats, scored 3 runs, 6 hits. So far, all singles on the year for Macy Lake. Lake's a freshman from West Harrison, Indiana, Franklin County High School. So getting some action here in non-conference play, as that one is a strike now. So Lake is down 0-2. She lines that one softly over foul towards the right field line. So she'll stay alive, 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch from Schroll is swung on and missed. So that'll be the first strikeout of the afternoon for number 26 in the circle. She'll get Macy Lake swinging.
Up to bat, number 8, Paige Ratliff.
That'll give way to number 8, hitting in the 8 hole. It's Paige Ratliff. And Paige is catching the second game of the doubleheader. She's hitting .208 so far this season. This is her 25th at bat. She's got 5 hits, 6 RBIs, 7 total bases, slugging percentage of .298. As she rips that one foul there, so 1 ball, 1 strike now. Ratliff, another freshman from Battle Creek Lakeview High School, out by me. Played in the Southwestern Michigan Athletic Conference against my St. Joseph Bears. As Ratliff swings through that one. So the 1-2 pitch from Schroll is going to be outside, and I'll work the count to 2-2 now against Ratliff. In that first game, we, especially early on, saw a lot of fly balls that were just kind of tame and kept in the infield for the most part. We saw the one out in left field that ended up working foul that started in the kind of left center gap and worked its way all the way towards the fence. The wind slowed down a little bit since then. So the count's now full on Ratliff here. Full count pitch from Schroll with 2 outs is going to be high and outside, so Paige Ratliff will earn herself a walk. That was Schroll's 12th walk conceded this season, and now it'll be Leah Taglia, and another freshman from Island Lake, Illinois. So lots of first-year Foresters getting a chance here to play against the Cougars. As Jess Gang will call timeout and bring the infield in. So there's 2 outs here in the top half of the second inning. Foresters plated 1 RBI infield single from Chevalier. Scored mismatch from second on the infield single. You don't see that a ton. So now I've got a 1-0 count here on Taglia. As Ratliff stands on first, Taglia will swing through. That one is now the pump fake head. Ratliff off of first, but Gang elected to fire to second rather than first. So Ratliff retreats safely back to the first base bag, and the count's now 1-1 on Taglia. And it pitches outside. So that'll be 2 balls and 1 strike now. The pitch is high. Taglia is playing second base here in game number 2. And she swings through the 3-1 pitch, so that'll work the count to full now. So we will go full count once again. Consecutive batters now. It's Schroll and Taglia this time. Ratliff on first with 2 outs. She'll be moving full count. Fouled back here. We're starting to see some of the rush hour traffic here on Division Street. Headed towards Harlem Avenue. Concordia University, Chicago, just about 10 miles west of the city. As Taglia is going to be rung up on strike 3, looking. So no hits, no runs. 1 will be left on base. Ratliff after her walk. It's 1-0 Foresters through 9 outs. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network.
And we appreciate you tuning in today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC softball,
follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUC Softball. We'll see you on campus soon. Good?
Leading off for the Cougars in the bottom half of the second inning, it's going to be the designated player who played third base in the first game. It's Bella Archuleta, one of the 3 seniors here on this Cougars team. She'll bat from the right side. She takes strike number 1 inside. Now we've only got a couple weeks left here of school. Our last day of exams, May 3rd for CUC. As Archuleta follows that one towards right field, but it'll find grass, so no balls, 2 strikes. Got about a week and a half left of classes and then take our exams. And the 0-2 pitch from Hannah Smith is going to be high and outside. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. As we monitored the outside part of the plate in the first game, that umpire is now standing behind first base, but very trigger happy on the outside part of the plate for both teams. Took a while for Foresters and Cougars hitters to adjust to start swinging at the outside pitches, but looks to not be the case, at least so far in game 2. 1-2's the count on Archuleta. Here's Smith. Fouled back once more. As Archuleta is going to swing right through that one. It'll be the first strikeout of the day for Hannah Smith in the circle as Archuleta goes down swinging. So that'll bring up McKyler Morris, a freshman for the Cougars who came into pinch run in the first game. She's batting .303 so far this season in her freshman campaign. 33 at-bats, 10 hits for her, and 18 total bases. And I once again apologize for the wind in the microphone. I'm doing my best to cover it here. As that one comes high towards us here in the booth, and a little bit of a jump scare up here for our statisticians to my left. Excuse me, singular, I've been told. Just one statistician is jumping out of her seat. Shout out to Emily Balaban here next to me, member of the women's basketball team. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now on McKyler Morris. She's going to have to battle back here. As she'll swing right through that pitch. Smith got her going up and out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Hannah Smith in the circle. So 2 down here in the bottom half of the second inning. To bat now is Megan Boska, who we saw pitch in game number 1. She's a freshman from Plainfield North High School. And she is batting .240 so far this season. 25 at-bats, 6 hits, 1 double, and an RBI, 7 total bases. She lines that one foul towards the fans. 1 ball and a strike now on Boska. In between games there, I hope you folks back home staying warm and able to grab some dinner, as there's strike number 2. So we were able to grab some dinner as well. We had some tacos, we had some sushi. We are living large here at CUC. As here's the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, so Hannah Smith will strike out the side. 1-2-3, as easy as can be, as we'll head now to the top half of the third. It's 1-0 Foresters on the Cougar Sports Network.
Fans, thanks for tuning into today's game.
For more information on the softball program, head to cucougars.com. We hope to see you at the next game.
Go Cougars!
Go Cougs!
To bat for the Foresters here in the top half of the third, it's the leadoff hitter. It's Kaya Mismash. She's 1 for 1 today. She singled in her first at bat. She's going to watch that one high and inside. So the first pitch to Mismash from Schroll is a ball, as the infield is in for the slapper. Mismash here, as well as the outfield. There's ball number 2. I think we have fewer fans in attendance here in the second game than the first game. The cold may have scared a few folks off, or they might have been, well, that one flown out to left field. It'll be Westfall to corral it. So out is Mismash. It's been a rarity today for the Cougars to be able to get Mismash out. But as I was saying, cold scared a few folks back in side to grab some dinner themselves, or go study, play some Pokemon Go, play some Madden, whatever they got going on. Was playing MLB The Show last night, not doing some homework. So there's strike number 1 to Dempsey. Dempsey's 0 for 1. She flew out to right field in her first plate appearance, so counts now 1-1. So through the first time through the order, the Foresters mustered 2 hits. That'll be Garcia who will make the play in foul territory. She'll call off Boska at the last second. So Garcia will secure out number 2, and that'll give way to Brooke Swicky. Swicky as well, 0 for 1 this afternoon. She flew out to Garcia at second base in her first plate appearance. That pitch is outside. This is the only action in the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference in terms of softball today, as that one's lined out towards Westfall, but right at her. Had it have found a gap, it would have been a sure extra base hit for Swicky, but 3 up, 3 down. Go the Foresters. We will head to the bottom of 3, 1-0.
Fans, thanks for tuning in to today's game.
For more information on the softball program, head to CUCougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game.
Yay!
Here is Gina Westfall to bat for CUC now in the bottom half of the third. It's 7-8-9 for the Cougars. The first 6 were retired in order as Westfall swings through that one. Jess Gang was able to get a single but was thrown out at second base to end the first inning. So even though they have a hit, it was 6 up, 6 down. As there's a ball high. As Westfall fires that one back, and the Cougars dugout trying to bring some life to their offense today. They're through now 9 innings and have been held off the scoreboard by the Foresters pitching staff. It was a great outing by Brooke Chalet, and Jasmine Cole came in to finish it in the 7th, but it was 6 complete shutout innings for Chalet as Westfall takes that one up, and that's going to be fair off the glove of a diving Taglia, as Westfall is going to slide into second safely, so this is the best chance that the Cougars have had all day. A leadoff double. And just a tough play out in the middle of no man's land there. It was a great effort by Taglia. She went full extension, laid out for it. Unfortunately, it kind of bounced once and then tipped off her glove, rolled to the fence. So not an out, not a single, but rather a double for Westfall. And this is Olivia Stroker now, batting in the 8-hole. She's playing center field here the second game. She's hitting 184 so far this year. She's got 38 at-bats and 7 hits and 2 RBIs, so she'll bat here with Westfall in scoring position. As she swings through that pitch, it's 1-1 now. So the 1-1 pitch here from Smith to Stroker is going to be high. 2 balls and 1 strike. I think maybe you see Stroker put one down here to try and advance Westfall to third, but she'll swing away. It's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Both of these cuts by Stroker been a little high in the zone, so 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll see if Smith goes right back up there to see if she can get Stroker to chase a little bit higher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And she did. We'll go back up, but this time Stroker holds off, so the count moves to 3-2. So with first base open now, 3-2 on Stroker, and it's going to be low and outside, so ball 4. Runners at first and second. Now, almost certainly I would expect a bunt here from Goldsby to move Westfall and Stroker to second and third, and that'll give way to Arissa Santos, who had a pair of hits in the leadoff spot in game 1. As here's Goldsby to bunt. It's right through. So instead of strike, we'll see if she takes another crack at laying it down, or if she'll swing away with a strike. As she's going to square to bunt now, and she'll offer at it, but won't get it down. So now she's 0-2 in the count, so she'll have to swing away here. And Coach Sarah O'Malley Fisher says, got to move them now. So if you can't do it via the bunt, you'll have to do it another way if you're Haley Goldsby here. So 0-2, Smith ahead of Goldsby. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And swung on, fouled right back towards us here. And it's Balaban jumping again. So the car count is 3. The Balaban jump count is 2. We'll see which one gets to 5 fastest. Here's the 0-2 pitch once again. It's going to be high and outside. Count moves to 1-2. Well, the nice thing about this booth we're sitting in here, it is resistant to foul balls coming back. It's fire resistant. Unfortunately, it's not wind resistant. So we are seeing a little bit of wind here this afternoon. But we are free from foul balls. Thank goodness for that. The cars are not, however. The cars on Division Street, very much not free of the foul balls. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, lifted out to fairly deep left field, but it'll be Swicky under it for out number 1. So Goldsby is not able to move the runners. But now just 1 out for Arissa Santos. So it'll be Arissa Santos now with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom half of the third. As she takes that one deep into left field, no doubt about it. Get out of here, Arissa Santos. 3-run shot gives the Cougars the first lead of the afternoon. How about that? The sophomore shortstop, number 15, Arissa Santos, gives the Cougars a 3-1 lead. In the bottom half of the third inning, just what the Cougars needed. It was their best scoring opportunity of the afternoon, and it was Santos who came in clutch. So now the Cougars will go back to work with their first lead in 10 innings of play here this afternoon. And man, oh man, that could not have come at a better time for Arissa Santos. Is one of 2 times all day the Cougars have had 2 on. And Santos is able to clean it up and take Smith yard. So here's now Emily Garcia, who squared to bunt and pulled back. So it's ball number 1. And the 1-0 pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. And you can just hear the Cougar dugout now just come to life out of nowhere. started this inning energizing Westfall. As that pitch is low as well, so now the count after the 3-run shot by Arissa Santos is 3 balls, no strikes on Emily Garcia. As she'll take the strike. So a good comeback pitch there from Hannah Smith. Work the ball, or excuse me, the count to 3-1 now. And the 3-1 pitch with 1 out is in the dirt. So Garcia will reach on a walk. So Garcia will stand on first. Now it'll be Jessica Gang, number 12. She does the catching for the Cougars, as that pitch will be in the dirt. So Smith now struggling to find the zone. Her pitch count is nearing 50 through 2 1/3. So we'll see how long she can make it in game 2 here, as that's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Ball. Pitch is low for a ball, so 2-1 now. So Gang squared the bunt there as the pitch was being released, and she pulls back for ball 4 high. So now we're going to get a timeout here from head coach Joel Kinsella, as he's going to talk with Smith and the rest of the infield. This has by far been the best half inning for the Cougars here this afternoon, with a couple hits, one of them being a long ball, but they've been selective. They've reached on a pair of walks here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. But the Cougars are going to have to add to their lead if they want to win this game here. It's unlikely that the Foresters will be held to just 1 run. The Forester offense is pretty strong. So we'll see Bella Archuleta now standing in with 2 on and 1 out. That pitch is outside for a ball. Archuleta was out on strikes in her first at-bat in the 2nd inning, as she hits that one towards second base, and Taglia is there to field it, and that's the 2nd out of the game. So here's McKyler Morris, number 17. She's batting in the 5-hole. This is a big gust of wind towards us now. And Morris here is going to stand in with 2 on. She'll take the first pitch outside for a ball. A good spot, though. Had it been the first game, it probably was a strike. As Morris swings through that one, so 1-1 now on McKyler Morris. This is the 35th at-bat of the freshman season. She follows that one straight back towards us here. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third. Garcia stands on second, Gang on first, and Morris swings right through that one. So Smith is able to get out of it with just the 3-run shot. Will leave 2 stranded, but the Cougars strike back. It's 3-1 Concordia now after 3 innings of play. We'll be back for the top half of the 4th inning on the Cougar Sports Network.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
All right, so we got a new pitcher here again for the Cougars. So the trends today, pitch a cut. She will put on the crown at home plate and head back to the dugout. And she cuts the Cougar lead in half, so 3-2 now on just the second pitch of the inning. And that one right off the bat, you could tell that that one was going to leave the park. I'm not sure if that one or the first one she hit was further. Hard to tell because the first time she hit the scoreboard, which obviously brought it down, but that one was just as deep. His pitch from Tierney. 1 ball, 1 strike now. So both teams now with only 3 hits, but one of them each being a home run. So Nian there is going to hit that ball out to right center field. Stroker will get in, fire into second. She had a little trouble getting a hold of that ball at the wall there. So that's a double for Emmy Nian after the home run. So consecutive extra base hits for the Foresters off of Tierney. And it looks like, just like that, Tierney is going to be gone. So she saw just 2 batters through only 5 pitches, but gave up a home run and then a double. So now we're going to get Emma Borelli, who was the 3rd pitcher that we saw in the first game. And Borelli is one of the 5 pitchers on this staff. So Schroll, who started this game, Pufall started the first game, Busco was in to relieve Pufall second, then Borelli, then Tierney, then Pufall again. And this game so far has been Schroll, then Tierney, then Borelli. So Borelli, 8.72 ERA. She's 2-2 on the season. This will be her 14th appearance. It's right around 23 innings pitched. And standing in for the Foresters now is number 5. They have first baseman, it's Cheyenne Pelletieri. So there's nobody out. It's Emmy Nean standing at second base. The Cougars are up 1, 3-2. It is the top half of the 4th inning. Here's Cheyenne Pelletieri will take ball 1 outside. As that's a hard shot into left field. Westfall is going to field it. And she'll get it in, so Nean has to stay at third. But a hard hit ball by Cheyenne Pelletieri. It's good for a base hit, so back-to-back-to-back hits for the Foresters in the top half of the 4th inning. And you just got the sense that when the Cougars went ahead 3-1, it was going to take more than those 3 runs to win this second ball game. And just like this, the Foresters have not shied away from that 2-run deficit, and they've come right back. And looking to tie things up, if not take the lead. The Cougars have yet to record an out here in this 4th inning. So it's 3 straight hits to open the 4th inning for the Cougars. And now it'll be Macy Lake. And Macy struck out swinging in her first at-bat. But before this inning, the Foresters were just 2 for 11 so far in Game 2. They're now 5 of 14, so they're hitting upwards over 350 now. So here's Macy Lake. Yeah, she'll watch the first pitch. Inside, we'll see if we get some sort of strategy here from the Foresters and Coach Kinsella, some sort of double steal or squeeze here from Lake. But at least for now, there's the bunt. So it was going to be a safety squeeze. But Lake is unable to get it down. So now she'll go down 0-2 in the count instead. So 0-2 in the count. Coach Kinsella will offer his words of encouragement for Macy Lake here as she stands in facing Borelli. Borelli looking to get the first out of the innings. That pitch is going to be outside. Gang will fire down to Garcia. Garcia is going to fire home to Gang, and they're going to get Nean at home plate. So a well-executed defensive play there from the Cougars. What we thought they might do in that first game that scored one of those runs in the first game, where the throw from Gang went down and didn't look like anybody was too confident about what was going on, and Foresters scored a run that time. Much different situation. So not only do you get the out, but you also get a runner off the base paths. So now there's a runner at second. That's Pelletieri. Macy Lake is bat here now. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lake. Borelli checking the wristband. The 1-2 from Borelli is going to be high. Macy Lake's going to take it off. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now. And I mentioned earlier that this was the only action of this pretty chilly and windy Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow will be a busy day in the NAC. As Lake hits that one down the line, it's going to be over Westfall's head as she'll fall down to the ground on the warning track. So it'll be a stand-up triple from Macy Lake as the throw from Westfall goes into second base, and Macy Lake doesn't stop running, so she'll get a triple, an RBI triple at that. That'll score Pelletieri. So Just like that, the Foresters strike back, and we are even at 3 apiece here in the top half of the 4th inning. Only 1 out. So 1 out now. Foresters still have a runner in scoring position. Well, tomorrow it'll be Wisconsin Lutheran heading to the University of Chicago for a doubleheader. Dominican, nationally ranked Dominican, will travel to Concordia, Wisconsin up in Mequon. And it'll be Ripon traveling to NAC member Marion in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin as well. So 3 NAC teams in action on Thursday. Yesterday was a fairly busy day as well. It was Aurora taking 2 from WLC. North Park and Benedictine split. And MSOE dropped 2 to UW Oshkosh. The Cougars will be back in action on Saturday. It'll be their senior day against the Lakeland Muskies. And the Cougars will honor 4 seniors, Nikita Robbins, Gina Westfall, Bella Archuleta, and Alyssa Contopoulos on Saturday. So this is Paige Ratliff now. She stands in. She's got a 3-0 count on her. Macy Lake stands at third, with 1 out here in the top half of the 4th. Taglia on deck. So Ratliff will watch that pitch down the middle wisely on the 3-0 count. So now she'll have to go to work 3-1 against Borelli. As that's a deep drive out to left field, and we're just going to keep playing long ball, folks, here in River Forest. And the wind's blowing in, but the balls are headed out. That's the 4th home run of the afternoon, 3rd by the Foresters, 2nd of the inning, as that's Paige Ratliff, as she will now wear the crown at home plate. So a 2-run shot from Paige Ratliff will give the Foresters the lead. And you guessed it, folks, another pitching change for the Cougars. It'll be Eden Pufall back in the circle now. It'll be Borelli out. And for Paige Ratliff, they'll have to go get that ball because that was her first career home run. So congratulations to the freshman out of Battle Creek Lakeview High School. Her first collegiate home run comes here in the top half of the 4th inning in River Forest to give her team a 5-3 lead in Game 2. So after the Cougars plate 3, thanks to an Arissa Santos home run in the bottom half of the 3rd, the Foresters come back and plate 4 of their own. For now, there's still only 1 out, thanks to 2 home runs as well. A Pelletieri home run and a Ratliff home run. That'll bring Leah Taglia. And excuse me, I said Pelletieri home run. It was a Chevalier home run. No, that was Ratliff earlier in the inning. It's okay. Taglia follows that first pitch back. So Pufall in the circle for the Cougars now as that pitch is high 1-1. So Pufall started and finished game number 1. It was a clean outing for her. She gave up 0 runs in the first game. So she will look to do that again here That one's off the handle and pushed foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Leah Taglia. The 1-2 pitch. Taglia is going to hit soft liner, and Garcia reaches out and snags it. A good play there by the freshman second baseman to take away a base hit from, well, the freshman second baseman for the Foresters. So freshman second baseman on freshman second baseman crime right there. And bunt will go to Pufall. Pufall fires to first, but it'll get past Garcia there. Goldsby will fire to second, but in safely was Kaya Mismash. So with 2 outs now, the Foresters have another runner in scoring position thanks to a bunt. And we'll see if the error goes to Pufall or if it goes to Garcia. I'll wait for the ruling on that. So the error is going to be on Garcia. They're going to say the throw was good from Pufall. That's in there for a strike. So this is Cadence Dempsey. Pitch is outside, so 1 ball, 1 strike now on Dempsey with Mismash at second base. Foresters have a 2-run lead here in the top half of the 4th. There's strike call number 2. So the 1-2 pitch now from Pufall. Checks her wristband, and here we go. Way and retreat back to second. Gang is able to grab it out of the dirt there fairly easily. Three balls, 2 strikes. So a full count now on Cadence Dempsey. As she hits that one towards first base, Garcia will charge over and record out number 3, so the Cougars finally get out of the top half of the 4th. The Foresters plate 4 runs. So it's 5-3. Foresters now, we are headed to the bottom of 4. Cougars looking to strike back. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network.
Fans, thanks for tuning into today's game.
For more information on the softball program, head to CUCougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game.
Yay!
Welcome back to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It's Megan Boska standing in now for the Cougars in the 6-hole. She struck out in her first plate appearance. One of Hannah Smith's 4 strikeouts in game number 2 here. She swings right through that one as well. So the count moves to 1-1 now. Let's look at Hannah Smith's stats. She's pitched 3 innings, given up 3 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of which were earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. A pair of extra base hits. She's faced 14 batters, and the upcoming pitch will be pitch 59 for Smith. Busco foul that one off, so it'll be 2-2 now. And luckily for Smith, her team was able to get a few runs and get those back, so as we stand right now, Smith will not be credited for a loss should the Cougars be held here. Busco fouled that one into the netting as well. So we will stay here at 2-2 now. Slogan song or whatever you call that. Jingle. Busca soft liner into left field. That'll be down for a base hit. So leadoff base hit for Megan Boska. And that'll bring up Gina Westfall, who started the rally for the Cougars last inning in the 3rd inning. She had that leadoff double. It feels like so long ago, but just blooped over into right field, and Taglia went to dive for it. Bounced off her glove towards the fence. So Westfall's here to square to bunt. It's going to be popped up and caught. A fantastic play there. Paige Ratliff reaching out like a half dive.
Up to bats, number 11, Olivia Stroker.
And secures that one for out number 1. It'll force Boska back to first base. So here's Olivia Stroker now with 1 out and 1 on for the Cougars in the bottom half of the 4th. Stroker fouls the first pitch back. The 0-1 to Stroker in there for a strike as well. No balls, 2 strikes. She'll dribble that one foul. Pelletieri fields it, tosses it back into Smith, and we'll do the 0-2 once again. Pitch from Smith, swung on and missed. And Stroker will go down swinging. She tried to pull back, but was unable to. Now to bat for the Cougars, Haley Goldsby with 1 on and 2 out here. She will look at strike number 1. One ball, 1 strike now on Goldsby. She swings through that one. The count will move to 1-2 now. We'll have CUC men's lacrosse action tonight as well, taking on IIT as Goldsby swings through that one. So Goldsby down on strikes. Cougars can't advance Boska after her leadoff single. So 1 hit, no runs. Cougars trail by 2. We are headed to 5 in River Forest. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network. So we've got a couple defensive changes here for the Cougars now. It's going to be Kantopoulos in the game for Westfall in left field. And Hajik is in for Boska, Hajik started game 1 at first base. So she's in for Boska there. The rest of the Cougar lineup remains the same defensively. So as the umpire chats with Coach Kinsella, we're going to have a dance party here. Out in left field's Kantopoulos doing a little dance. And now we'll do batter up. So here we go to lead off the top half of the 5th inning. It's Brooke Swicky. And Swicky's 0 for 2 in game 2. She popped out to the second baseman and then flew out to right field as she takes strike 1. For the Cougar fans listening to today's broadcast, if we take a look at the conference standings, the top 8 teams are going to make the conference tournament here in a couple weeks as Swicky flies that one to right field, and that'll work its way out towards division, saved by one of the trees. It's Dominican, Lakeland, Concordia, Wisconsin, top 3. And CUC sits in that 10 spot right now, so they've got a little bit of work to do to bump a few places to get back into the conference tournament conversation, and they'll have the opportunity to do it. They're going to play a tough Muskie team here on Saturday. And a couple more doubleheaders after that. They'll play Dominican and Rockford. As Swicky puts that one out to shallow center field. So a leadoff base hit for Swicky, her first of the second game. And where the Cougars sit right now, they've got a lot of work to do to get themselves into postseason conversation, knowing that they have the top 2 teams in the conference still to go on their schedule, and they're in need of conference wins badly. There's a softly hit fly ball out to left field. Will fall harmlessly, though. So a strike on Chevalier, who's got 2 home runs today. 1 in each game so far. For fans of the Midwest Conference, your Lake Forest Foresters, Lake Forest sits as there's a shot in left field, and that's got a chance. It's going to be off the warning track. So a stand-up double for Chevalier. She is having herself an afternoon. Swicky will move to third. That was just a hard hit ball off the bat of Chevalier. Couldn't quite tell where it would land. Wind brought it down just shy of the fence out there in left center field. So here's Emmy Nean now with 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out. The infield's in for Nean. Lake Forest is undefeated in conference play, so they sit at the 1 spot. It's Illinois College 6-2 in the 2 spot, and Monmouth sits in the 3 spot. And these teams have yet to clinch the conference tournament. But Lake Forest is well on their way to doing that. One ball, 1 strike now on Nean. She follows that one straight back here. One ball, 2 strikes. So a few other Midwest Conference teams in action. It was Illinois College taking game 1 against Monmouth 6-2. And Grinnell beat Knox 18-0 in game 1. And 14-0 in game 2. So Grinnell takes 2 from Knox. And Illinois College and Monmouth are still battling in game 2, as are we here in River Forest. As that pitch is out into left field, and the wind's going to take that one. It's going to go off the glove of Contopoulos. She'll have to fire in. And the runners will just trade places. It'll be an RBI for Nean. There's Pelletieri, lines it softly to Garcia, like off the handle of the bat because she is grabbing her hands, and it is cold, and that hurts. So that'll be the first out of the inning. Now standing in is Macy Lake, and she tripled in her last at-bat and tacked on an RBI. She grounds that one up the middle. Pufall will look back the runner at third, so a nice play there by Eden Pufall to secure the comebacker on the hop, keep the runner at third, and fire to first. So just like that, 2 quick outs here for the Cougars on consecutive pitches, and much needed there with 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out. Now the runners in scoring position with 2 outs, and this is Paige Ratliff, who homered in her last at-bat. As she's going to take that one, and that might go as well off the top of the wall in center field. And that's that raised wall out there that kept that one in the ballpark, but a 2 RBI single for Paige Ratliff. And had she hit that to left field, it had gone out over there by the peacock tree like her last at-bat, but instead it's a single for her. But how about a day for Paige Ratliff? She's 2 for 2 on the afternoon with a handful of RBIs and her first collegiate home run. So here is Leah Taglia. And Taglia is playing second base for the Foresters here in game 2. The score is now 8-3 in favor of Lake Forest. They've gone 7 unanswered since the Santos home run in the bottom half of the third for the Cougars. That pitch is outside, moved the count to 1-1 against Taglia. And that tree out there in left field above the scoreboard, you can kind of see it behind the score box there in the top left corner of your screen. And we call that the peacock tree because in the spring, like it is now, it's got this nice wide bloom on it as the pitch goes fire down to Hadjik goes to tag, and then we'll have to fire to second, where Ratliff slides in safely. So the back pick works against the Cougars, and Ratliff ends up at second base. So Taglia now an RBI opportunity if she could find the grass in the outfield. But as I was saying, the tree out in left field, it's a very wide bloom, a tall tree, covers up most of the chapel building out there in left center field. And it's got that nice color green of peacock's feathers. The more you know about CUC, it's a great place to be. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Pufall. As that's popped straight up, it's going to be Hadjik in to field it, and she'll grab it for out number 3. But the Foresters do some damage. They're up to 11 hits now this afternoon. They played 3 runs here in the top half of the 5th. So we will head to the Cougars half of the 5th now. We'll go to the bottom of 5. It's 8-3. Foresters. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. So in the Cougars half of the 5th inning, they'll bat from the top of the order. It's Arissa Santos, who had a 3-run homer in her last at-bat in the 3rd inning. So 2 times through the order now, the Cougars have plated 3 runs on 4 hits. So the Cougars have some work to do here. They've got 9 outs left, and they're down 5. So 2 balls, no strikes here. The count on Santos. So Smith may be careful as that one goes right back up the middle for Santos. So she's had a pair of hits in both games in this doubleheader. That'll give way to Emily Garcia, who will stand in now, the Cougars' second baseman. She'll bat with Santos standing on first base, nobody out. She walked in her last at-bat in the 3rd inning. She flew out to second base in her first at-bat in the 1st inning. As she'll square to bunt here, it's right back to Smith. Smith's throw is going to be high, but Taglia snags that one. A nice play there by the freshman second baseman to keep that ball in the infield. Had it gone out into right field there, could have been a run for the Cougars. So nice play there to get the out. A successful sacrifice bunt there from Emily Garcia. Moves Santos to second base for Jess Gang now, who singled in her first at-bat, walked in her second at-bat. So she is 1 for 1 here in game 2. She takes strike 1 looking. So there's 1 out now. As there's strike 2 as well. So Gang now down 0-2 in the count, with Santos on second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Is going to be high and inside. The 2-2 pitch is swung on in the dirt. And Ratliff will be up to tag Gang. Yeah, she heads back to the dugout. So now it'll be Melissa Hajik, her first at-bat of game 2 here. And she will have an RBI opportunity as well. The Cougars are now 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position in game 2 as they are now down 5-3. Santos stands, 8-3, down 5. Santos stands on second. Hajik takes strike 1 as that pitch is in the dirt, so the count will be even at 1-1. Hajik swings through the third pitch of the at-bat, so 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Hajik. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Smith, is swung on and missed. And they'll say Ratliff caught it, so the Cougars get a leadoff single from Santos. Advancer on the sacrifice bunt by Garcia, but unable to move her any further. So the Cougars now down 5, headed to the 6th inning. Foresters to bat. It'll be Mismash, Dempsey, Swicky, so the top of the order for them. And in the circle now for the Cougars is going to be Ashley Schroll. So we're moving back through the pitchers now here in game 2 as well. So we had 5 appearances in game 1, 4 pitchers. And in game 2 here, this is the same. So here's Schroll back to pitch the last 2 innings, I assume, of this afternoon's game. She gave up 1 run in the first inning, and she held the Forester scoreless in inning 2 and 3 before being pulled after 3. So 1 run allowed after 3. She'll go to work here in the 6th and 7th. Mishmash will square to bunt. That'll be high and outside, so ball 1. And the Cougars infielders are just inching closer, like inchworms, I suppose, coming to field this slap of Mismash. As all the infielders are now in front of the bags. So 1 ball, 1 strike here on Mismash. She slaps that one up over the glove of Santos. It took a weird bounce off the lip and gets past Stroker, so Mismash will head into second. That wasn't an error. Yeah, it hit. No, that's the same way. So that'll be ruled a hit. So here's Cadence Dempsey. She swings through pitch number 1. So Schroll ahead early in the count. And that's just tough when you've got the infield playing in and a hard slap like that from Mismash. It is tough to be able to move laterally that fast when you're that close to the plate. And that time Mismash found the outfield, and it took a weird bounce off the lip and got past Stroker, so an unlucky break there from the Cougars. As that's lined out into center field, and Mismash is going to score with ease. Hajik will cut it off at first. So an RBI single from Cadence Dempsey will score Mismash from second. And now Brooke Swicky will stand in. 1 for 3 so far in game 2. She had a single and came around to score in her last at bat in the 5th inning when the Foresters plated 3. She was one of those 3. So Dempsey stands at second now. Schroll fires strike 1. As that one's lifted out to right field, it's caught on the run by Goldsby, and Dempsey will retreat back to first in time. So nice running play out there by the right fielder for the Cougars. That's Haley Goldsby. And she keeps another runner off the base paths for the Foresters. So with 1 out now and 1 on, that's Kaylee Chevalier. And she lifts that one softly out to center field. It looked like that one was just off the end of the bat of Chevalier. And that's the first time that the Cougars were able to get Chevalier out in the game 2. She is just a triple shy of the cycle, which is the toughest one to get. But she's got a single, a double, and a home run here in game 2. So now Emmy Nean stands in. She's got a pair of doubles to her name. An RBI as well. She squares to bunt, takes it back for ball 1. So 2 outs now here in the top half of the 6th for Ashley Schroll. And Emmy Nean's had a good day as well. She had reached base 3 times in game 1, reached base twice so far in game 2 with 4 hits on the day. And the 2-0 pitch from Schroll is going to be low and out as well. So 3 balls, no strikes on Emmy Nean. You assume she will be watching here. This will be red light all the way. But it's high, so we'll never know. So a 4-pitch walk there, drawn by Emmy Nean, her second walk of this afternoon's contests. Now standing in is number 5, Cheyenne Pelletieri. Excuse me. So the Cougars will run some sunglasses into the dugout now that the clouds have covered the sun. It's starting to get a little bit darker here. It is 6:45 local time here in the Central Time Zone, just outside of Chicago. As that one is popped straight up, it's going to be Schroll to grab out number 3. The Foresters plate 1. Their hit tally is now 13. We'll be back. The Cougars down to their final 6 outs of game number 2 on the Cougar Sports Network. Alrighty, so we are getting set for the bottom half of the 6th inning. Our wind is back picking up. Not my friend today. But into pitch now for the Foresters is number 30. It's Kelly Collins, and Kelly Collins has a 2.25 ERA. This is her 4th appearance on the year. She is yet to record a save, so if she were to stay in and finish This game, she'd get a 6-out save. She's only pitched 9 1/3, giving up 9 hits, 6 runs, 3 of which were earned. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and opponents hit .243 against her. So here we go for the bottom half of 6. It's Mykyler Morris standing in now for the Cougars. She's got a pair of strikeouts. She's looking to avoid the big sombrero today. She will, at least for now. She dribbles that one to third base. A nice play over there by Cadence Dempsey at third, as she will grab Morris. Definitely not. So into bat now is number 18. It's Megan Boska. She's 1 for 2. She singled in her last at bat. What? I said Boska. Yes, I did. Two balls, no strikes. As she'll dribble that one off of Collins' glove, but Taglia, good play, and well, unfortunately, it's going to result in a throwing error now, and so Boska will advance to second on the throwing error from Taglia. It was a good play off of the glove of Collins to charge it and get a throw off. The throw was up the line, went out of play, and when it does that, the base runners are awarded an extra bag. So now is the runner in scoring position here for Alyssa Contopoulos. It's her first at-bat of the afternoon. She's in replacing Gina Westfall a few innings ago in left field. And the Cougars' dugout now is caroling as Contopoulos hits that one back up the middle as well. So a one-out single from Alyssa Contopoulos. Runners at the corners now for the Cougars, and yeah, the Cougars dugout came back to life here. We saw this a few innings ago in the third when the Cougars were able to plate 3, so it's just a thing of momentum for the CUC dugout. And now you can hear some noises, some barking. They're practicing their onomatopoeia in the dugout there. As the umpire says batter up, and this time it won't be Olivia Stroker. The pinch hitter instead is number 7. It's Genesis Quijada. And Quijada's a freshman from South Bend, Indiana, of Mishawaka Marion High School. And Genesis Quijada is batting 167 so far this year. This is only her 7th at-bat. So she's got a hit in 6 tries so far this season. So not a ton to go off of. Small sample size there. And that base hit was a single. So here's Quijada now. She lines that one foul. So she'll work in a 1-2 count now against Kelly Collins, who is in relief of Smith, Hannah Smith of Lake Forest. Quijada swings through that one, but she's going to reach base on the drop, 3rd strike. So first base was occupied. Yeah, that's the correct call there. They were slow to call it. They could have called it right away. But so first base was occupied by Contopoulos. So Contopoulos gets to advance. Quijada will be out, so she'll get charged with a strikeout and will not get to reach base. But Contopoulos does move up. So 2 outs now for Haley Goldsby as she watches strike number 1. So it's Boska on 3rd and Contopoulos on 2nd. And for Smith, it was 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of which are earned, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. She faced 22 batters, gave up 2 extra base hits, and she pitched 82 total pitches, 52 of which were strikes. 52 to 30 was her strike ball ratio. So the 1-1 count now on Goldsby, and that one's high, so that'll move the count to 2-1. As that pitch catches the inside part of the zone. So 2-2 now is the count on Haley Goldsby with 2 on and 2 outs. The Cougars need this opportunity badly. As that one's going to be, snagged by Collins. You thought it was going up the middle, but Collins had other plans. She snatched it on the bounce and fires to first. So the Foresters will escape the 6th inning without giving up a run. So we will head to our final inning of the 14 this afternoon, headed to 7 in River Forest on the Cougar Sports Network.
Nation! We love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank button.
This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible and some great softball moments. Thank you, and enjoy the game.
So now into pitch for the Cougars is Megan Boska. So Schroll is done now as well. So if we just look at the Cougars pitching line so far, we've seen all 5. In this game, it was Schroll with 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. She faced 18 batters with 53 total pitches. Tierney did not record an out, 2 hits, 1 earned run. She faced only 2 batters. Borelli, a third of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned. She faced 3 batters. And Eden Pufall pitched 1 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of which were earned. She faced 10 batters. So here's Megan Boska now. She's going to attempt to close this game for the Cougars. At least while the Foresters are batting, Cougars going to get another shot in the bottom half of the 7th. But this is something we've seen multiple times from CUC this year, is using the majority, if not all, their pitching staff throughout the duration of a single game. So 4 pitchers in the first game and all 5 here in game number 2 for CUC. Standing in is Macy Lake now. She's 1 for 3 with a triple and an RBI. As she takes that one towards the playground as well. Just shy of the slides out there. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Foresters hitting .419 in game number 2 here with 7 extra base hits. As that one's taken out to center field, but Stroker is able to move to her right and grab it for out number 1. So a good 2-strike connection there from Lake. And for the Foresters, they'll be back in action on Saturday. They'll have a doubleheader against Monmouth College at Lake Forest. It is Alumni Day for the Foresters, so any Lake Forest alum listening to the broadcast this afternoon, head on out to Lake Forest on Saturday for Alumni Day. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Paige Ratliff, who is 2 for 2 this afternoon. She's got a home run, a single, 4 RBIs, and a walk to her name. She takes that one out to left field. Almost identical spot for Stroker, where she got Lake and their Ratliff. So 2 up and 2 down in the top half of the 7th inning. That'll give way to Leah Taglia. And Taglia is the only Forester to not record a hit here in game 2, so she'll look to change that right now. As she takes that one out to left center field, off the wall. So just like that, every Forester records a hit here in game 2, as that's a 2-out, 2-bagger from Leah Taglia. So now a runner standing on second for the Foresters. That's the top of the order. Santos will fire to Hajik, and that one goes over her head and out of play. So Taglia will score on the advance. The errant throw from Santos. Miss Mash will move to second. So 10-3 now is the score. And for the Cougars, they, like I mentioned earlier, have senior day on Saturday, April 20th, so just in a few days against the Lakeland Muskies. They will then host Benedictine, the Eagles, the following day, so Sunday. So 4 games in 2 days, and then just a couple days after that, they get the nationally ranked Dominican Stars for a doubleheader on the 23rd, and they finish the season with doubleheaders against WLC Rockford and Concordia, Wisconsin. So they've got 12 conference games left, their final 12 games remaining. And they're going to need a few wins to push themselves into postseason conversations. Right now, as we stand, Benedictine holds the 8th spot with 6 conference wins. The Cougars have 4. So a couple wins to make up. WLC's in between there with 5. That one is fouled down the third base line there by Dempsey. Dempsey's 1 for 4 today. She singled in her last appearance. She tallied an RBI there in the 6th inning as well. That one's dribbled. Santos will field it and fire to first. Hajik is there to grab it. So that'll do it to bat for the Foresters here today, unless the Cougars can plate 7 in the bottom half of the 7th. The Foresters tack on one more in their portion of the 7th. It'll be Kelly Collins to stay in the circle for the Foresters here in game 2. And if we look at their stats so far as well, they've 36 at-bats. They've scored 10 runs on 14 hits, 5 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. So 8 extra base hits. They've walked twice and struck out twice as well. They've left 7 on base. They've stolen 4 bags today in game 2. And they do have 1 error. For Collins, she completed the 6th inning, gave up just the 1 hit, and recorded a strikeout as well. She faced 5 batters in the 6th inning. So for the Cougars, you're at the spot of the lineup you want to be at. You got the top of the order here to go. You got to plate 7 to stay alive. It'll be Arissa Santos. She is 2 for 3 so far here today. She's got a home run and a single with 3 RBIs. So here's Santos. Pitch from Collins, going to be high and outside. Foresters were to come to bat, it'd be, oh, that's a shot, and that's going to get out of here, too. You can tell right off the bat, get out of here. Her second home run of this afternoon's contest. Arissa Santos, the sophomore, plates her second home run of game 2 here this afternoon. That'll cut the lead from 7 down to 6. And like I said, you could tell right off the bat that thing had the trajectory to just get out of here, and it got out of here in a hurry. If the Foresters were to bat, it'd be Swicky, Chevalier, and Nean, 3, 4, 5. But now it'll be Emily Garcia standing in for the Cougars now. She's 0 for 1. She's got a walk and a sacrifice bunt. She popped out to Taglia earlier at second base. So she is looking to contribute here as that, oh, is going to be a diving stop by Taglia, fired to first. But the off-target throw, so it'll be an infield single from Garcia, but a fantastic play by Taglia there to even keep that ball in the infield. And a heads-up play here by Paige Ratliff, running down the first base line to back up that throw there from Taglia, able to get it so it doesn't roll any further, and kept Garcia at second. So now here's Jess Gang. She's second on the Cougars squad in batting average, 389. But she's still looking for her first home run of the year. And they say home runs are rally killers. So we'll see if Gang can just reach base. That pitch is going to be a ball. So 1 ball and 1 strike now on Jess Gang. Garcia's 4 for 4 on the year in stolen bases. Probably not the situation to do it now, but she has yet to be caught this year. As that one's lined down the third base line, foul. First base line, excuse me. Foul. But a hard hit ball. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now for Collins on Gang. As it pitches outside, so it'll work the count to full now. So we'll see if Collins gets into a little trouble here as Gang is able to loft that one out into shallow left center field. So 2 on now. Thanks to a single from Jess Gang. But as I was saying, if Kelly Collins gets into a little bit of trouble here, they may look to either re-enter Smith. They've got Chalet, who pitched game 1. A spectacular outing for Brooke Chalet. They could re-enter her. They've got Kayla Collins with a 2.81 ERA. Jasmine Cole finished game 1. She could come in and finish game 2 as well. So that's something to monitor. There's nobody out warming up in the bullpen right now, so it looks as if Coach Joel Kinsella is good with his 6-run lead, at least for the moment, and will allow Kelly Collins to keep going at it here. So Melissa Hajik now stands in. She struck out in her only appearance in game 2 as that pitch is low, so that moves the count to 3-1 now. Hajik, the sophomore from Westchester, Illinois. She went to Nazareth Academy. She watches strike number 2 there, so it's a full count now. So the full count pitch to Hajik is fouled off. So we will do full count once more, at least. As it is cooled way off here in River Forest. Still pretty windy. It's gotten much darker. Clouds rolled over. As that one's going to be hit. I thought it might have hit Hajik in the box, but maybe it didn't. So an infield single for Melissa Hajik. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out. Now they're going to talk about it because it looked kind of awkward. I thought it might have hit her live. Yeah, foul ball, and that is the right call. And that ball definitely hit Hajik in the box. So the runners will retreat to first and second now. And we will do the 3-2 pitch once more. 3-2. And that's hit. And she will be, whoa, safe at home. That throw went all the way up towards us here. It kind of hit our net up here in the booth. So that's an RBI single for Melissa Hajik.
Don't clip that one. Kayla, don't clip that. My call was terrible.
So now standing in is Mykyler Morris. She's 0 for 3 today. She's got 2 Ks and a ground out to third base. But she's got 2 runners on now on second and third. It's Hajik at second and Gang at third. As Morris will swing right through that one as well. So 10-5 now is the score for the Cougars. They're able to play a couple here in the 7th so far. There's still nobody out, so lots of time left for the Cougars. Morris squares to bunt. Just can't get it down. It's popped back up towards us here, towards the camera actually. So now 1-2 on Morris, looking to avoid her third strikeout of the game. And she'll foul that one. Collins has recorded 1 strikeout here in her 3 outs since she has been in the circle. And here's the 1-2 pitch to Morris. And the Foresters wanted it, but the umpire doesn't ring her up. It's 2-2. Must have missed a little high. The 2-2 pitch is off the end of the handle of the bat. It's going to find the grass foul, though. And it just jammed her. Couldn't quite get her hands all the way through there. So a good fight here from Mykyler Morris, as that pitch is bounced in there off the plate. So Morris is able to work the count to full. Her best at bat of game 2 here for sure. So now full count with nobody out and 2 on in scoring position. Here's the pitch inside, and Morris is going to draw herself a hard-earned walk. And so now Megan Boska is going to bat here with the bases loaded, and we're going to get a timeout. We're going to get a pitching change here as expected, although can't tell who quite it is yet. And they weren't warming up in the bullpen, so coming in pretty cold as Collins will head to the dugout.
They're not sisters. They're not from the same school. No.
So to pitch for the Foresters, it's going to be Kayla Collins. So another K Collins to another K Collins. So Kayla's got a 2.81 ERA. She's 9-1 on the season. So Kayla's got the best record on the Foresters staff. She's appeared now in 12 games. She's pitched 57 in a third inning, which is the most of anybody on the Foresters roster. She's given up 58 hits, 28 runs, 23 are earned. 19 walks, 14 strikeouts, and opponents bat .265 against her. She has given up 3 home runs this year. So it's going to be the job of Kayla Collins to work the Foresters out of this one. So the Cougars were down 10-3, coming to the bottom of the 7th. They've plated 2 so far. The bases are loaded with nobody out. And they've got the 6-hitter Megan Boska is here to bat for the Cougars now. Nobody out. Here's Kayla Collins' first pitch is high. So Gang is at third, Hajik at second, and McKyler Morris at first. Defensively, it's Swicky, Mismash, Nian in the outfield left to right. Dempsey, Lake, Taglia, Pelletario. At left to right in the infield. Pelletieri at first. Ratliff behind the plate, and Kayla Collins in the circle now. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Megan Boska. Boska's 1 for 3. As that pitch is high and out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boska singled and reached on error. She follows the 2-2 off. So here's the 2-2. And that one's just out. So that'll be a full count now. And Collins is going to have to be careful. There is not a bag open. So a walk would score a run here. And that one's going to be grounded too short, but Lake is unable to handle it, and everyone's going to be safe. So that's going to be an E6 and an RBI for Megan Boska. She'll reach on her second error of the afternoon. So maybe what's more important for the Foresters right now is the outs. That's what's most concerning. It's 10-6 now, so the tying run is at the plate, and there's nobody out. Now, the good news for the Foresters is Cougars are at 7, 8, 9. Contopoulos is 1 for 1, but the next 2 batters have yet to record a hit today. And this is Contopoulos' second at-bat. She came in for Westfall earlier, and she singled. Did Contopoulos. So the count's 1-1 now. Still nobody out here. It's 10-6. Cougars trying to stay alive here and split with the Foresters in non-conference action. The last non-conference game for the Cougars. The Foresters have doubleheaders against University of Chicago and Carthage College as well that are not tagged as conference opponents. Contopoulos follows that one back, so we've got a full count now here on Alyssa Contopoulos. The bases are loaded. There's nobody out. 10-6. As she dribbles that one. But a play there by Collins. She slipped, was able to get to her knees enough to throw to first base. So the 3-2 pitch is dribbled to Kayla Collins, fires first, records the out. The Cougars do plate one. But at this point, the runs on the base paths don't matter, because even if both of those runs score, the Foresters still win 10-9. What's most important at this point for Lake Forest is just recording outs. So the score is now 10-7 in the bottom of 7 with 1 out and 2 on. And it's a strike on Stroker. And on deck for the Cougars is going to be Julia Pataluna. And she's going to be pinch hitting for Haley Goldsby, who is 0 for 3 so far today. As that one's dribbled by Stroker, Collins will look back at third and keep McKyler Morris at third. So that's the second out of the inning, similar to the first out of the inning, although that time Kayla Collins was able to keep her feet. So just like that, there's 2 outs here in the 7th. And so Julia Pataluna is going to bat for Haley Goldsby. And Pataluna came in to pinch hit in a similar situation in game 1. It was the down when the Cougars were down to their last out. And so now the same situation for Julia Pataluna here. So Pataluna came into today 300, so she's just below that after recording an out in the first game. She watches the first pitch high and outside, so this is at bat number 22 for her in her freshman campaign. So 1 ball, no strikes. It is 10-7, 2 on, 2 out. As that one's inside, almost caught her. That'd be 2-0. And standing on deck is Arissa Santos. And if you're the Foresters, you got to get this out here because Santos has already played long ball twice today. That's 3-0. So if Santos comes to bat, she is the winning run. If she were to come to bat, it's 3-0 here. And there's ball 4. So Julia Pataluna draws a 4-pitch walk. So now it's Arissa Santos. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. So this is everything you dream about as a young child. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. We'll see if we get to a full count. That would be the only thing making it more exciting, but Coach Joe Kinsella is chatting with the infield right now, and it's a fairly young squad. You've got Ratliff behind the plate, who's a freshman. Lake at shortstop, who's a freshman. Taglia at second, who's a freshman. You have Pelletieri at first. She's a junior. And Dempsey, who's a sophomore. Kayla Collins is a sophomore. So a few freshmen, a few sophomores, and a lone junior at first base. So here's Arissa Santos. And that first pitch is in for a ball. So I don't have to spell it out, but a grand slam here would win it for the Cougars. But an extra base hit will keep the Cougars alive. An out from Santos will let the Foresters walk home with a pair of victories against CUC today in this afternoon's doubleheaders. So here we go, the 1-0 pitch from Collins outside. 2 balls, no strikes. And you kind of get the feeling that Collins, and maybe that was what was the chat with Coach Kinsella, just be real careful. Don't lose the game right here. We'll work to Garcia or Gang, who will bat 2 and 3 for the Cougars. But you don't want to face Santos as she swings and misses at that pitch. A little high. So 2 balls and 1 strike now. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Bases loaded. As that pitch is high as well. So now the count is 3-1. It's a good hitter's count. Thinking you see your pitch, you're driving it. We'll see what happens here. Collins is going to bring it to 3-1 outside, so that'll walk home another run. So Santos will get an RBI there. which will be her 5th of the afternoon. And now that'll bring in Emily Garcia. So it's 10-8. The bases are still loaded with 2 outs. The tying run stands at second base. That's Juliet Pataluna. The winning run is Arissa Santos at first base. And again, should the Foresters come to bat, it'd be Swicky, Chevalier, Neon. As the first pitch is in for a strike. And Garcia, what was at one point a 7-run lead for the Foresters, has now gotten a little bit more exciting here and brought this place back to life. It's 10-8 with the bases loaded. Garcia drills that one foul. Now the count is 0-2, so CUC is down to their final strike. The count is 0-2 on the freshman from the freshman second baseman from East Vale, California. Family watching at home. Here's an exciting at-bat. 0-2, 2 outs, bases loaded, down by 2, and that pitch is outside. So Garcia will stay alive. Another pitch, 1 ball and 2 strikes now, the count on Garcia. We are nearing 7:30 Central Time here. It is getting dark. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one is low as well. So 2-2 now. You got to be careful just for Collins now. We've walked a pair of batters here, and that was okay when the lead was as large as it was, but now just a 2-run lead here. You can't really afford to give any other free bases. Now 2-2 is the count here on Emily Garcia, and that pitch is high. So the count will move to full now. So Garcia is thinking base hit, ball 4 here. Base hit, ball 4 for number 22, and for 55 in the circle. Got to bring a strike. And the full count pitch. Swung on, drilled into the gap into left center field. And that's going to tie the game. Emily Garcia comes through with a 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 10th. And the Cougars have done the impossible. They've scored 7 runs in the bottom half of the 7th inning and tie this game. It's 10-10. Unbelievable. And for the Cougars, they batted around in the bottom half of the 7th inning. There's still got a chance to win it here in regulation. And here's Jess Gang. She's 2 for 3 this afternoon. She's got a pair of singles. She scored a run, a walk, and a strikeout for her. The winning run is on second base. That's Santos. As that one slips through Ratliff. So right between the legs of Paige Ratliff does the ball go, and now runners on second, third, which the runner on second doesn't mean too much. Well, in fact, it doesn't mean anything because the winning run is on third as it's skied straight up in the air. It'll be close, but it'll get out. So now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. And what just a fantastic job by the Cougars of passing the bat to the next batter and scoring 7. As that pitch is low. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now. So Ganning's going to have the opportunity to win it here for the Cougars, and there is chatter to the left of me just about how much longer this game could go on if we were to go to extra innings, because we do not have lights here in the village of River Forest. And so if it were to get too dark, they'd have to call this one anyway. And there's strike 3. So Gang will swing through that one. Collins gets out of it, but the game is tied. Now they're going to talk about it right now. And we'll get a decision here shortly. It's just tough because if you can't get a full inning in, you really can't play. But Now the Cougars want us to turn our flashlights on so we can keep playing here. We're going to see momentarily just a spectacular comeback by the Cougars. They were up, it was down 1-0 after one. It was 3-1 after three. The Foresters were then able to score 9 straight runs in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. And there you go. You heard it right there. The game is called for darkness. So we won't get an outcome here in game number 2, which is rather anticlimactic after everything that went on today. So if you're the Foresters, that's disappointing. You came all this way. Well, I suppose it's not too far, but you came this way to to play 2 games in, and it looked as if you were gonna walk away with a pair of victories, leading 10-3, heading to the Cougars' final outs. So they're gonna head home with a split, sort of. I don't even know what you call that. A win and a tie. Guess it's not a split. But for the Cougars, something to hang your hat on, most definitely. It was a rough game where they were shut out and held off the scoreboard until 10 innings of play when the Arissa Santos first home run of the afternoon in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And then the Cougars were able to score 10 in game 2. And unfortunately, that's where we'll have to leave it due to the darkness. But let's compare here just for a little bit. It was 10-10, our final score here after 7. Foresters 14 hits, 2 errors. Cougars 11 hits, 2 errors. 2 players from both teams reached on error. The Foresters left 7 on base. Cougars left 8 on base. The Foresters hit .389, the Cougars .344, 11 of 32. Both teams batted an even .250 with 2 outs. For the Foresters, they hit .438 with runners in scoring position. For the Cougars, .267 with runners in scoring position. Well, folks, I apologize for a rather anticlimactic ending of this afternoon's contest, but we appreciate you hanging around and listening to the broadcast this afternoon. That'll do it from Game 2 here in River Forest. A 10-10 final. The Cougars come back from down 7 in the 7th inning. They played 7 and even at 10. We'll be back here on the call on Saturday for Senior Day for the Cougars. They'll honor their 4 seniors on Saturday against the Lakeland Muskies. We hope to see you here Saturday. If not, you know right where to find us, CUC Sports YouTube. That'll do it on the Cougar Sports Network. Troy Prattley signing off. Roll Cougs.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.